Hello everybody, welcome to Pralines, Deliciousness from the World of Art. The protagonist of this episode is Gianpiero Viglino, born in Alba in 1951. To encourage his creative nature, his parents enrolled him at the School of Applied Arts in Turin to learn graphic design and the art of publicity. While studying, Viglino also works at a laboratory specializing in staging fairs and big storehouses. Moreover, Viglino cultivates his passion for music. He plays drums in the band that proposes rhythm and blues in discotheques. But at the age of 23, he decides to commit himself fully to his vocation, painting. He spends a lot of time in the studios of various artists to explore the techniques he feels affinity with. When Viglino first encounters the art of soutine, he remains enthralled by his vision and the impasto of painter application in his works. Initially, Viglino shows great interest in surrealism. Then, as a drummer, he tries to translate the rhythmic pulse of the human heart onto his artwork. In fact, we hardly notice that most of our actions are not motivated rationally, but they are rather driven by inner impulses such as our breathing and our heart beating. To some theories, the origin of music is said to stem from the most primal rhythm of all, the beating of the human heart. Therefore, music is a universal feature of the human experience. It is considered the universal language par excellence. It needs no mediation of meaning and is thus comprehensible to everybody. Over this period, Viglino employs a technique whose aim is to associate the forces of thoughts with those of chance. In his creative practice, he flings colorful lumps of gypsum onto the jeweled canvas. In so doing, he stresses the fact that not only the mind, but also the whole body takes part in the artistic creation. His success and the notable sales results have confirmed the value of his art making. However, towards the mid-80s, his art evolves into a new style pointing to opposite characteristics. Habitué of the ateliers of conservation and restoration of art, Viglino has the opportunity to get more insights into old masters' paintings, especially those of the 16th and 17th centuries. He notices that the classical technique of veiling has conserved the fascination of those masterpieces. Viglino thus accepts the challenge to create contemporary artworks through making use of a classical technique. His paintings seem to emerge from the atmospheres imbued with a lyricism that expands into space, a lyricism that echoes the bello poetico of Leopardi. Leopardi, in his Zibandone, states that man is doomed to perpetual dissatisfaction due to his infinite desire for unreachable pleasure. Thus, man can obtain pleasure only through imagination. In the light of Leopardi's conviction, Viglino holds that only the images characterized by indistinct features can better assuage this anxiety, such as a landscape in the mist, a row of trees in the distance, exoticism, more imagined than experienced, and so on. His subject matter ranges widely from the landscapes of the Lange to animals such as parrots, elephants, or swans, reminiscent of the misty Wagnerian atmosphere. In fact, music is among the suggestions that recall the infinite. Viglino's abiding love for music inspires him to work out the painting compositions that can be regarded as harmonious scores of colors and of different levels of narration. The presence of guardian angels in his work conveys a comforting message. They are considered thoughtful figures that watch over us and try to guide us towards beauty and goodness of heart. Viglino often finishes his panel paintings with a coat of varnish, which confers a preciousness to his works. This art style also wins him reputation. Along with other artists, he sets up a group called D'Ombra d'Incanto. Their works are displayed in numerous solo and group shows in Italy and abroad. All of this would seem a prelude for a stable professional life if it were not for the fact that his house was devastated on November 5, 1994, when the Tanaro River overflowed its banks. All all of a sudden, Viglino finds himself deprived of most of his artistic output and of all the documents relating to his past career. However, Viglino never stops painting. His art may hark back to certain fin de siècle atmospheres which have Turner as precursor. Moreover, it impresses the Orphic symbolist features of Redon's and Moreau's art and shows full resonance with our current days by his use of vibrant colors of the jazz trend. It takes Viglino more than 20 years to rebuild his artistic life. Through his new artworks, mostly on paper, he feels recovered from the traumatic experience. His composition takes on a life of its own within an oval considered as a sort of lens or as an early 20th century photo representing the same landscapes of his past career. Viglino gives himself fully to painting, a special domain where we can experience the correlation between the musical tones and the visual hues, where we can feel the emotions of an artist that, though an expert in the most advanced researches in the contemporary art world, prefers to dip his paintbrush into the poetical memories of the 20th century. I stop here. Thank you for listening. Don't miss the next episode of Pralines, Deliciousness from the World of Art.